Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Beard of Blevins, and I think that most media geared towards children is pretty toxic.
And I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. I think you can redeem most of the media that's marketed to kids, but the point of this podcast is to help parents to know what's in a piece of content so they know what they want to shield from their kids. They know what they can talk to their kids about, these topics that they're never going to be able to avoid, and shepherd them through, and also how they can use media to just share with their kids in a very influential part of their life. And today, we are talking about a movie that hasn't even come out yet.
Our first ever official pre-release.
Monster Summer.
Monster Summer.
It comes out October 4th.
First in a theater near you.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's pretty wide release. So it is an indie movie.
Okay.
It was made by an independent film company. It's pretty widely released. I mean, it's got a huge cast. Mel Gibson is
if
in
Mel
this movie.
Gibson's in it, it's going to be in most movie theaters.
Yeah, look it up. You're going to find it near you.
I will say, pretty excellent.
I'm surprised that you thought it was excellent because it gave me, do you know what movie did it remind you of the most?
A mixture between E.T. and Goonies.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say The Sandlot and Goonies.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Okay. See, we're there.
Yeah. Okay. So because you didn't like Goonies, I was afraid you weren't going to like it, but it was.
Dude, thank you for reminding everyone that I didn't like one of the most classic movies of all time.
Yeah. Please roast him in the chat.
Yeah.
Just right
But
there.
I think it's just because it was so old age, and I struggle with like movies made back then if I never saw them now. Like even Sandlot, I didn't watch that until like a few years ago too.
Yeah.
And so I didn't love Sandlot either.
I know.
But this was good. It was like modern, well done.
Let me give you a little plot summary first.
Break it down.
Something strange is happening in Martha's Vineyard. So this is a summer town, Martha's Vineyard, where people go just for like vacation stuff. Noah is a kid who lives there full time. I think Ben lives there full time as well. Two kids, they play on a baseball league in the summer, and they have just kind of like your traditional summertime fun activities when Ben goes out to meet a girl at the beach and is suddenly attacked by a ball of light. Like it's just kind of a strange encounter. And afterwards, Ben is never the same. It's kind of got a blank stare to him. And no one needs to know what happened to his friend, right? So he teams up with the town curmudgeon, a guy named Gene, played by Mel Gibson. It's like that sort of the old man in The Sandlot where they like have rumors about him. He's supposed to be a bad guy, but actually he's not. And they start investigating what it is that happened to Ben, and they find out it's been happening to kids all over the vineyard. So they're going to do this research and they're going to find out what happened.
And you're not going to tell the audience.
No, because it's such a good ending. Like the surprise, you didn't see it coming, did you?
No.
There was no shot. No shot at all. Okay.
I'm not even going to give a hint.
Don't. Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about anyone on the baseball field. What? I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay. So what are some things that parents might want to shield their kids from here?
I've got an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And the scariest movie that they've watched is probably Aladdin.
I was going to say home videos of you in a swimsuit.
Yeah. Whoa.
What?
That was rude. I'm jacked and tan. It's hot dad summer. You think it's more fat dad fall, huh?
It's something.
Maybe we'll participate. We'll see. Yeah. Aladdin is probably the scariest movie my kids have seen.
Yeah. Lion King was rough.
If they saw E.T., they'd be horrified.
Yeah.
So just shield a little bit from that.
Yeah.
Because if your kids have never seen a scary movie. However, at the same time, this could be a good intro movie to a good moral scary movie.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is very scare, not scar. Like there's some jumpy outy things, but like when scary stuff happens, it's usually a bright light that shines out of nowhere. So it's not there's no blood, there's no gore, there's nobody getting shot or stabbed or anything like that. No drinking, no drugs. There's some mild swearing, but like, D words and A words, like maybe one or two. It's enough that like primetime TV is just as bad, if not worse. And the kids are mildly disobedient to their parents if that's a concern.
That never happens.
Never. I just sometimes see reviews that are like, oh, there's parental disobedience. And I was like, isn't that like always the case?
Yeah.
Anyway, not a lot to shield from here, but it's a great movie for shepherding and sharing, spending time together as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said in here about not judging a book by its cover, not thinking everything is as it seems. If you want to have some like shepherding, talking kids through it moments, like with the author situation, showing up randomly, calling her a witch in a literal witch hunt.
Are you going to give your little hot take on that or no?
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be J.K. Rowling. I mean, she writes some books about she's hiding out and she kind of looks like J.K. Rowling. Like it has to be, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
She also just tweeted recently that she wishes that she could have a drug that would keep her awake for 5 straight days and do nothing wrong with her body so she could write better. Fun fact.
J.K. Rowling's an interesting... Do you know her last name is actually Rowling, but I always say Rowling.
Is it Rowling?
It is.
I had no idea.
There's a whole podcast called The Witch Hunts of J.K. Rowling where they clarify that at the beginning, and I'm still going to say Rowling. I still can't get my mouth around it. But yeah, so you got this whole like talk about not judging a book by its cover. I loved though that you've got this fun story. It's more of a share thing, but like it's this fun story where kids have actual hobbies. They go out and they do fun stuff. None of these kids are staring at their phones. I think that there's something to be said for modeling that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a movie that has, young child actors in it where they're not doing that the entire time. Yeah. They're not just playing video games. And we live in a culture now where parents aren't really letting their kids go outside past their lawn. And like when I was 10, I was going on bike rides around the neighborhood. So I think it's good to show that to kids, and it's good for parents to see that stuff too, to make sure that they're letting their kids have a little bit of fun.
I think it's just so good to let kids in this age group, like on this movie, they're all 13, 14-ish. Yep. Years old, letting them start to get that freedom and that responsibility. And I think it's one of those things where kids don't see it modeled in media much anymore, so they don't really know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have out there. But this was like a really fun 90s throwback style movie, and especially parents are going to enjoy the baseball scenes. I know you didn't want to talk about it. Patrick Ham from The Sandlot is the umpire in there. As soon as he showed up, I was like, this is amazing.
It is funny.
I just thought it was so sweet. It was just such a fun movie to share in. I had a great time with it. Sometimes when you get these independent movies, you're worried that it's going to be kind of crap, but stellar acting. There was one child actor that was maybe a little weak, but that's a child actor for you, right? And the rest of the thing was fantastic. I had such a good time with it. I really enjoyed it. And it's coming out right before Halloween. So I'm excited to be able to watch this with my kids instead of like last year we were doing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
This is so much more fun.
Yeah. I like that it's fun that they don't have to throw a bunch of stuff in for parents. This is just a good movie to watch as a family. Maybe I will have it be the first scare not scar movie that my oldest watches.
Okay, so what age would you say that this is appropriate for?
I'm going to go as soon as you can sit down through something that's semi-scary. So for me, 10 and up. For you,
7.
7.
Yeah, 7 is fine. If your kid is not easily scared, 7 is going to be great.
I'm sure this is all going to change for me. My oldest grows up, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like then there's, of course, my 4-year-old is watching shows that my 7 and 8-year-old weren't watching when they were 4. So it's going to happen.
Well, especially because you've got a sensitive oldest kid, and my oldest kid is basically feral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if people like this episode, where could they find more content like this?
Go to isthisforkids.com. That's where you will find everything. We're very interactive on all of our social media handles. So give us some suggestions and hey, go watch this movie and let us know what you thought of it as well. Because you got to meet the person in charge.
The executive producer. Yeah.
Which is fun.
Hey, there's just so much content out there for us to weed through as parents.
I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?